What's going on, people? So, real quick, before we go getting on into this thing. So, yesterday, right? Completely useless story. I used to start a lot of videos like this. That's probably, I think, where the timestamps started to come in. Either way, yesterday, I'm over at Sam's Club, right? And so I'm over there, like, by, like, the medicine type area, you know, like that aisle or whatever. I've been over there for a bit, right? You know, like, say like 7 minutes or something, right? Just kind of killing some time or whatever. Anyway, so like this guy comes walking by, you know, he's talking to some friends of his, like, oh man, like I left my smoothie in the bathroom, blah blah blah. And I'm thinking like, this guy didn't just walk out, like he was gone, and like it's back now from somewhere else. Maybe he went walked around the store and just realized he didn't have it anymore. I don't know, but he's going in there, like I guess he left it in one of the stalls. He comes back out, you know, he's like, yeah, okay, got my drink, blah blah blah, and you can know how like you can hear a conversation and like you're not looking at it, but you can kind of picture how it's going. He's like, yeah, man, I really needed this because I spent $9 on this thing, right? Which is a fair amount, which makes me question like, why? But either way, I'm not a smoothie guy, so I don't really understand how that world works. And so he has it, you know, and he's talking to his friends about it. And he's like, yeah, man, like it's really good. I had to go back in there and get it. I just left it in one of those stalls. And like then I heard the silence, and I could just imagine how like the friends or whatever he's talking to are looking at him like thinking like, wait, and you're gonna drink this? Like, and then I hear he breaks and like, hey man, like I had to get it. Like this $9. And I'm thinking like, me personally, right? I'm just letting it go. I mean, I'm not saying like I just got money to throw away, but something about like leaving a drink in a stall where like any number of dudes could have just passed through and maybe took a sip or something, and then you're just gonna go back in there later and like get it. Like, oh no, that is dead to me, right? Who knows? That guy might be dead now because that just sounds disgusting. Either way, so let's go ahead and talk about this, right? So, side of the box tells you some things that aren't really necessary, I don't think, but it's informative to at least like 1% of that population out there that watches this video, right? Which is not a lot, I feel like. I feel like it's going to be a very low view count on this one. Anybody want to take some guesses? We, you know, do a little betting or something? Leave it down in the comments, right? We'll give it a couple weeks and we'll see what the numbers are like. Either way, here's the thing, right? Backstory as far as how these came around. I saw these at some point on the internet. I was like, that looks kind of cool. I like colorful things. I wouldn't mind trying out a different New Balance model, right? Let's look into that, right? Because this was last year when I was buying shoes for no reason, like in large amounts. And so I saw these and I'm like, okay, got it. Mental note, they come out on this day. They'll be right there on the newbalance.com. So I go over there on that day and they're like, no, they're sold out. I was like, oh, wow, that happened fast. I didn't realize New Balance worked like that, you know? So, I mean, I've been doing this a while, but I still learn some things from time to time. And then later that day, they're like, hey, that thing you wanted, we have some now. And I'm just like, do you really though? Do you? And so I click on it and they're like, yeah, this one right here, you can put it in your cart. And I put it in the cart and I checked out. They sent me an order confirmation, then they sent me these shoes later. I was like, oh, so I guess they really did have them. Cool. Did a whole unboxing on the old Instagram about it. And now I can sit here, talk to you guys about these. Not too long, because I don't think I need to say too much. I've already said a whole lot, right? Either way, so this right here is the New Balance 580 Stray Rats in some kind of colorway. I say some kind of colorway because, I don't know, I saw some different things online or whatever. I saw khaki purple, I saw like cosmic grape, you know? I saw like something dark moss, something like that. I don't know which one is right. I don't care either. If you look at the side of the box, it just says like purple and green, right? Whatever. It's a colorful New Balance 580. We can all agree on that. Either way, I'm going to get you some stuff here and then we're just going to move on. Down there, across the bottom, right? What you're looking at down there might be the standard New Balance 580 look. I mean, it probably is. It's very plain though, but it's fine by me. And then one thing that you might notice down there, you got this roll bar situation. I don't know what that means, but I'm pointing it out because, you know, why not? Either way, moving along, midsole stuff, right? It's colorful. It is. I do like that a whole lot because I like colorful things. It's kind of what drew me to this, right? And then there's some more roll bar labeling. Either way, moving along past all that, other shots of the outside, right? Top down sort of thing, kind of from an angle. Either way, those two shots might help you get a decent idea for what you're seeing here. take in some of those colors and whatnot I was talking about, because maybe to one or two of you out there, this might be new to you, right? It's old, so I feel like a lot of people that cared about it knew about it already, but every so often, stuff happens for people and it's the first time they've seen it, right? I get it. It happens to me all the time. Either way, so moving along past all that stuff. I'm not going to do like a full-on review about these because I just don't really want to, and I don't think I need to, so why do it, right? I'll just breeze through some things, say some stuff, and show you some pictures real quick, right? But overall, for the most part, right, what you're seeing on here, a lot of it is going to be this kind of suede type of thing, right? I guess it's suede, I don't know. It's really like this short, kind of feels weird type, not like all fuzzy and whatnot. Though you do have some like the fuzzy type pieces, like over here, there's some purple piece that's kind of on the nice softer side. And then you got this same sort of thing going on with a little bit of this pink type color over there. But otherwise, for the most part, you kind of get it, right? The same materials are all throughout the shoe, with the gray parts being sort of a meshy sort of thing, because you got to have a little bit of mesh on here for breathability. It helps, right? Either way, speaking of, if I forget to mention it later, the breathability on this seems low right now, right? But look at it. I mean, how else would you think that would play out? Either way, one thing that I also noticed, this has like this plasticky sort of thing. And I was trying to think like, what is it that this reminds me of? It took like longer than it should. The Air Max 90 is what I was thinking of, because there's some plasticky type of piece on the sides of those or whatever. It's just that I haven't worn an Air Max 90. I don't know the last time I wore one, honestly, because I didn't wear any during Air Max month. So I probably at some point last year, I guess. And I haven't bought one in like 2 years. So yeah, the Air Max 90 is just like so far in the back of my mind, you know. But either way, that kind of reminded me of those anyways. And then as far as laces and such, you do have two other pairs that you can go with. You got this green pair over here, and then behind there you got this purplish pair, right? I say purplish like it's not, it's purple. It's straight up purple. It's a little dark, but it is purple, right? Either way, so there's going to be that for you. And one other thing as far as distinguishing factors about these or whatever, you do have the little rat guy at the bottom here, lace to brace type of thing. And then as far as like the insoles go, those they switched it up, and one says Stray, one says Rats, right? If you read it in the right order, it says Stray Rats because this is a Stray Rats thing. See that? Either way, that's going to be about all I feel like I need to say, so let's just move on. We're going to talk about some personal thoughts because that's what's next in these videos. Personally, right off the top, these were worth the money. How much money did I pay for these? That's a good question, and it's a question that I cannot answer because I do not know. I honestly have no idea. But I'm sure it was fine, otherwise they'd still be on the shelf right now. Either way. So the thing is, when I got these in hand, I was like, okay, yeah, this is very different. It's not too loud, and you know, because like the colors aren't too bright or whatever, kind of lays low, but it still has like the right amount of stuff going on to make me think, yeah, this is really cool. So, and you know, they give you these extra laces, which is always a nice touch. I don't swap laces because I'm super lazy about it, but I just like having the option. And then, you know, the little different insoles that they give you, you know, it's just like the little things that they do on the collaborations and such that just kind of make them seem cooler, right? So I picked them up, and when I got them in hand and saw that stuff all together, I was like, yeah, this is totally worth having, right? I'm not going to say it's for everybody, right? Like, if you saw these and off the top you were like, I don't think so, stick with that, right? There's nothing about these, in my personal opinion, that is going to make you regret not buying them. If you didn't, it's probably because you saw something else that you wanted more, and to this day, you probably still want that other thing more. I get it, because these aren't amazing by all standards. I can see why some people wouldn't be into it. But me, speaking as someone who was looking forward to them, they met my expectations, and I'm cool with that because that's a thing that unfortunately doesn't always happen. Happens a lot, right? Most of the time, for sure, easily. But not always. So yeah, glad this worked out because, hey, I also had to jump through an extra hoop or two to get these, you know, since New Balance didn't want to have them right off the top, right? Which I guess is also a testament to how much I wanted them, because I ended up going back to the site to like try again. Lots of times I just try and I'm like, guess it wasn't meant to be. Either way, so what is this? That's nothing important. sometimes I get these emails from like Pro Wrestling Crate or Pro Wrestling Tees or whatever, and it's like some limited thing or whatever, and I need to know about it. This was just not. It just reminded me about a coupon I have. Either way, so let's move along. Does anybody even care about that? I feel like I don't need to explain these things to people, but I do because I'm already talking and it just comes out. Either way, so sizing. I bought these in a 9.5 because my foot size is a 9.5. You know, if you ever use one of those little metal contraptions, it'll tell you, right? So either way, I did that because I figured, they're probably going to work out. And they did. So yay, right? Because a lot of things are true to size fit by my standards, right? I don't have the big, fatter, wider feet or whatever you want to call it. So things are mostly good, true to size. And this worked out. Now, I will say, like, this, I don't know what it is here. It's not any like crazy high quality type of stuff that I'm aware of, but these are like really comfortable. It's strange. It's one of those things where like they look like they're on the cheaper side, but they seem to be outperforming some of the other things that are on the more expensive side. But just to kind of put some sort of comparison to it on there, right? I would say that if you think about, say, we'll go with like an Air Max 90 or a Gel Light 3, stuff like that, right? These kind of remind me of those because they look like they'd be a little bulky, but they didn't feel bulky. They didn't feel heavy and all that good stuff, which is crazy despite, like, you know, because you look at all this suede and you think like, yeah, this is going to weigh it down a little bit. But overall, it felt really nice. So I could see walking around in these all day, no problem. The only, well, for the most part, no problem. Because the only thing that I could see like not being so great would be, again, just like the breathability thing. Because around here, it's going to be getting warm out soon and stuff, and depending on where you are, this may not be your friend for long periods of time outdoors, unless it happens to be a cooler day. So it's just something to think about. Is it going to be a deal breaker? Definitely not. Just like a very minor inconvenience, but sometimes I just throw stuff out there because it's like, hey, I try to give you guys something to think about when you're making these decisions, so that way you can, you know, make an informed decision. I don't want to sway it. I always say that. I don't want to sway you one way or the other. I don't care what you do with your money. I just hope that, you know, you think about what you do with your money. But all in all, like these right here, walking around in these just a little bit here inside or whatever, I could definitely see like wanting another pair of 580s. Probably won't buy another pair because I don't want to have too many of the same model because it makes the numbers of shoes overall go higher than it needs to be. But I would definitely recommend a pair to anybody out there that's thinking about a pair. Go ahead, try them out. Hopefully you can find a pair. I feel like these are readily available in a lot of places in different colors. So take advantage of a return policy or whatever. Make sure they're right for you and then double down and get the one you want. That's how I see it. But either way, I don't really have a whole lot else to say about these. I mean, I've said everything I needed to say, so I'm just going to wrap it up. From me to you, have a nice rest of your day or rest of your night, whatever it is, wherever you are. I have, what is it, 2 more now? Yeah, and they're both kind of the same thing. You'll see what I'm talking about in a second. Later, people.